There is nothing more juvenile, more spore-ridden, incestuous, and rotten from the bone out than a poor person. I am surrounded by them, covered by them, filled with the poor. They chatter like vultures in my crawl space, legs wet with their own piss. They rub their seed on the cutting boards they've stolen from my kitchen. I find my dogs limping from the bites they took from the poor, and have to spend most mornings cleaning the filth they've left on my marble counters and light switches. I cannot spit without hitting one of them, so I do until my mouth is dry. I don't know a taste that isn't tinged with the poor. They're bitter and dust, their noses speckled with kitty litter. My dreams are filled with their flapping genitals. Little, fat-bellied Africans covered in flies, stinking schizophrenics, obese with Doritos and Burnett's, rosy-cheeked orphans in tattered knickers and cockney, diabetic Indians trying to smudge me out with sage. Even the stray pets are poor, growling at me from the shadows. This poverty is a sickness, probably passed on by the mother, some stray psychological effect of accepting fellatio aroused by an insect laying eggs underneath their skin. And it spreads, though I wouldn't presume to know how. There is one, Bernard, that insists on sleeping at the foot of my bed so he can describe his dreams to me. He believes they drip along my spine to the soles of my feet, like the one where the gigantic planet Jupiter begins to spill its gases out of the swirling red eye, and because of this disaster, the great Judaic god is replaced by his sister, Monica, a girl you knew in high school, who pretends not to acknowledge your miserable prayers out of respect for your pride. She also protects the nests of birds from snakes, and decrees the sound of streams and creeks to carry further than when her brother was in charge. Meanwhile, pretending to enjoy his retirement, the former god of all spends his spare time solving geometric puzzles and eating cereal with sliced bananas. But that's not important. No, we were talking about the poor, those unfortunates and their vulgar tattoos, selling my landscaping equipment and embarrassing me in front of my extended family. One fell through my ceiling, face bloodied, cursing my godmother and the carpet's texture. There is another one, named Samantha Maloney, who attracts the neighborhood children with scrap metal she beats on the concrete, chicken wire and tin roofing, wrapped in electrical tape and sparkling with her sweat. She whispers into their ears like a suckling animal, wild hair glowing in the street lights, something about the speed that trees grow, the tiny metallic flakes in birds' noses, the frightened boneless creatures in the black of the sea. The children leave quietly after spending the night on my dew-soaked lawn, a strange patience in their walk, like the earth would turn without them pushing. They are all bad comedians, this poor blight, this penniless plague, but they insist on impressing me with their grandfather's jokes. One, with a finger missing from his left hand, cornered me while I was flossing. With a half-eaten pineapple soaking through a pocket in his jeans, he tried to tell me how a horse, a lawyer, and a priest with a rabbi's accent broke into a man's house to steal his liquor. With drool pink from his bleeding gums dripping down his chin, he went on to sculpt for me a moment as if it were a memory, as if the images, original and nearly complete, contributed to the shape and texture of his brain. A clumsy hoof shattering the screened window, the squeak of alligator shoes on pinewood floors, the sudden incandescent flash of the kitchen light, the man's daughter barefoot and shivering by the sink. "You cannot steal our liquor," the man's daughter responded. "It's a sin against the law, and the horse has no hands. But I will give you one bottle, for on all of us life sits a tremendous weight." A great rain seemed hesitant to fall upon the house, and between its walls the priest could hear small things climbing. He, the priest, had left his cigarettes at home, and by now could feel a distinct shift in the way he felt about his friends. How long had the horse been a drinker? He thought suspiciously. It cannot be doubted that of all animals which the great man carved from darkness, the horse should have the strongest inclination to drink. Not only is he an intensely masculine creature, prone to aggression till broken, but he has been bred from a proud race into a domesticated pack animal, often represented with an unholy sentimentality, glistening with silver and pastel purples, prancing upon strange extraterrestrial oceans. It is not uncommon for races similar to the horse to be drawn to the shelter of spirits. At this point the priest's mind began to race, feigning all the while a look of good humor and curiosity. He thought on. However, it would take a mind prone to whimsy to suggest that any illiterate and thumbless animal would be capable of nursing and seeking out a habit of drink. The horse had never invited me to a quick drink, nor had I ever noticed the smell of wine or cider on the horse's breath. The joke went on, and before long a crowd of the poor had gathered in my little bathroom, 15 or more, obviously familiar with the story. Above us, several wasps from the attic found their way through the light fixed on the ceiling, tiny, nervous insects shining of dark wines, twitching their horned asses in rhythm with some closed, cold circulation. Finally, I presume as a form of punchline, the entire crowd of vagrants joined in a prayer given by the horse and all his friends, saying, "Ancient heavenly Lord, executor and choreographer of the gigantic dance of the infinite miniscule, whose eternal fingers tap incessantly from the shadows beneath my skin, whose invisible lips I've stolen kisses from in dreams, whose longings quiet, whose jaw rests distant, swinging from the chest of stars, whose simple joys I comprehend when my body blends with the purring earth. Come, hold me closely, Lord, in your shoulders, in your neck, by your cheek, hold me closely. Come dinner time, come falling snow, come love me and tell me quietly you love me, my broken God, with your secrets and wine. Let me close, where the wind does not come, let me close, whose feet make madness, whose feet on tar drive music from sin, whose feet like wilderness and cruelty make unseen, whose feet do not carry, for all is hung from the sky, in the land of concrete where the old is replaced with the drunk and the boor, who masturbate in secret, grow their faces like sages, and weep. Oh, willow burr, my carpet rabbit, my blue bear, my Jones. Eternal God, let my heart breathe before I fall forever and die." On midsummer nights, their skin peeling from the heat, the poor lay their shirtless backs under the light of the porno moon, a measure of clear air displaced, pushing inches into the heavenly void.